Hello, this is Talamir and welcome to another repair video. In this video, we're working on this. Really beaten up, at least for the screen. The back is a little bit in rough shape as well, and you've got a little crack in the lens, if you can see it right there in the center. But this is a Motorola Moto Power G. It's the 2022 model. And yeah, as you could clearly see, it needs a new screen, it needs a new camera lens. So that is what we're going to be doing in this video. So let's turn ourselves over to the desk view. So I'm pretty sure with this design of phone, the whole back cover comes off of it. So all I gotta do to get that back cover off is just get some nails in there or a pry tool. This might be a little bit easier. Last time I did this, I got gunk all up in my nails and it was kind of annoying. And it's happening again with this one. So let's see. It's always easiest to get that SIM tray out first, and then you can use that as your starting point since that's a slightly weak spot for the frame. Then you can start getting in there and working your way around. Same thing with the buttons. It's also kind of a weaker spot of the frame, so it is easier to get into those areas. I always have difficulties around the corners and the tops and the bottoms. It is not agreeing with me. I cannot get that bottom nor the top off. It is being super stubborn. If I can get this side, the bottom of this phone open, then it will come out of the top. And then I will be able to get the whole thing out. Right there. It's holding it in right there. Why? Come on. There you go. It did have a small amount of adhesive around the camera lens. So yeah, that's that. Oh no. I mean, I can work with this, but I am insulted by this. They use non-standard hex screws instead of Phillips. Shame on Motorola. Shame on them. I gotta get this panel off before I can take the fingerprint reader out. If you're wondering why I've just got this sitting on the side here, it's a very bad design. I don't know why they would do it like this unless they were planning or hoping that you would break the cable on the fingerprint reader. They could have just as easily made a tiny little hole in the shield to provide a spot where you could disconnect the fingerprint reader. So if there was a rating I could give for Motorola and its fixability, it would be definitely docked a point on this part. Oh, you see what I see? That right there? I bet that right there is a screw. And they're hiding it. Yeah, look at that. I'm throwing that in the garbage. That is stupid. I am insulted by that. It's another point against them. There we go. Finally, it's out. Put that to the side. Let's disconnect the battery first. Now that we've got the battery disconnected, we can disconnect the fingerprint reader. It's going to get a little bit messy, and I don't really want to cause any potential damage to the face cam while I'm working. So let's get this off. There we go. Camera out. Time to take the battery out. I don't believe there's anything down here that I need to worry about. As usual, pry tools being plastic usually are the better solution, but the problem is, as you can clearly see, it is not getting down there particularly easy. It's not really a lot of room. So I always end up going for my metal pry tool. You'll notice that it is rounded. It's not sharp. But you do still need to be very careful because it is metal and this is a lithium-ion battery, and if you pierce it, it could go boom. You really don't want that to happen. So you just put it in there and you be very gentle. I'm lifting up very lightly, just bending it to the side. I am wanting the alcohol to seep underneath the small, tiny amount of space that I am creating with my pry tool. After a while, it will begin to pull away from the phone, and then I can take the battery out. I think I'm going to have to start working from the other side. It's being very stubborn. Okay, time to use a new method. Not a new method for me, but a new method I've never used on camera. It's to take one of these cards and you stick it underneath and you start prying into the adhesive to cut the adhesive underneath. Usually the adhesive for the battery is not this difficult. This is another mark against Motorola for repairability. If I was starting at 10, I would have given them immediately a -1 for that screw that was covered. I'm going to give them -2 for the battery being so darn difficult to get out. They're now at 7. I'm going to give them another minus. -2 again, because they covered up the connector for the fingerprint reader. I'm going to definitely 2, because you can tear that one. What are they at now? 5? Screw that. They're getting now a 4 repairability. Take another point off for this ridiculousness. There, finally. That card's going in the garbage. Oh, I got glue all over my hands. This cable here also needs to come out. It's for the screen. I'm wondering though, like this right here, that spot and that spot and this spot, this is all showing the back of the screen of the phone. And I'm pretty sure if I can just get this hot enough, I should be able to just push it right out. I'm going to give that a go. So I'm going to try using my my pliers here. I'm just going to peel this back and I'm going to push like this against the bench. Right there. And just see what happens. It's working to some degree. I mostly just want to create a little bit of a gap from the sides. Come on. Get underneath there. Okay, there we go. We got it in. Let's get some alcohol in. Now, a lot of times with these kinds of screens, they just glue the sides and they don't glue the center. Now, considering how how unrepairable so far I would rate this this Motorola, they might not do that. They might just glue the whole screen just to be jerks. Because you don't really need to glue the whole screen. You can just put padding behind it instead. That works fine. It's going along pretty smoothly so far. I just saw a piece of glass flake away from the screen. I'm putting my safety glasses on. What's this? What's this? What's this? There's something underneath here that needs to be disconnected. I want to knock them off another point because you see that S? Yeah, you might not be able to see that it is an S, but yeah, you can see is that it's a sticker covering a screw. So likely what is happening here, it's the digitizer on the bottom, and they've got the main. This is the main going to the motherboard, which is the LCD panel or LED, whatever it is. There it is right there. That is what was connected. Okay, they weren't too evil with this because only the edges of this phone were glued into place. We got it off. Okay, all we got to do now is just get those pieces of glass away and we should be okay to go. Easiest way to get the glass off is just to put some alcohol down. Okay, all we got to do is get the adhesive off. This took nowhere near as much time, and that's really telling. Getting the battery out took far longer than getting the screen out. That's just bizarre. I'm having a great deal of difficulties getting this material out. I'm going to try using my razor blade. Maybe I could use that to dig it up. I am deciding that I'm going to mark this now as a 3 for repairability. 3 out of 10. It started at 10 and it just kept going down. I finally managed to go and get all of that material off. It ended up being a simple matter of just using my tweezers to scrape it all away. It was a lot of effort. Never again. I'm going to need to cut some custom adhesive for this as well. I don't have adhesive on hand for it, and there's some areas that there's no other choice I'm going to have but to use some E8000 glue to waterproof the rest of this. So I'm gonna have to just do what I can with what I've got going here. Okay, that's about as good as I can do. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna remove all of the protective adhesive paper stuff off of here. Just put them in the center there, and then afterwards I have to put that E8000 glue in various places. Oh my goodness! Before I do that, we gotta test the screen. Let's do that first. Okay, since I don't have anything else but that little chunk right there being exposed, I should be okay. I could just stick this right here and this little tiny cable through there as well. That should be on now. It is. I'll peel this up so I can see what's happening. So the phone is now on. Let's just peel this back a little bit so you guys can see. Looks like the touch screen is working. Just want to see if there's any dead spots. It's good to go. We can put this back together, finally glue down that screen, put on some E8000 glue. Now the spots we're going to be putting it in is on all the corners and any place where the glue is meeting each other. We got to make sure that this phone is relatively waterproof, and that's one great way to do it. Now it stops right about here, so we'll put some glue right here. It's okay if it floods a little bit, not a big deal. Just take this off of here. Otherwise, we're going to have a bit of a cloudy face cam. We don't want that. Oh, interesting. That right there needs to come off first. That's in place. I'm going to start off with the bottom of the phone and get that aligned first. And once that's aligned, I should be able to push it all into place. There. That's aligned. Very good. So far, so good. Looks like it starts from this side for the tape for this. And I want to connect this up first. Then I can get it all properly aligned. You want it to start right here. And you just push it along, and then at the end there, it should crimp. Now, I did forget to go and put the grill in. Fortunately, the glue hasn't fully set, so I should be able to pull this up relatively easily. And then I can just stick this underneath. Yeah, you can see it's coming up an okay amount. I can stick that grill in right there. There we go. That went in quite nice. So as far as I can tell, everything is exactly as it should be. I'm going to put this down here just for protection for the screen. I can start putting everything back together, and that includes putting in some adhesive for the battery. Connect up the battery first. After connecting the battery, you should throw it in place because you just want to make sure everything is aligning properly. Nothing more annoying than trying to align the battery connector after having placed the battery in. Okay, that's in properly. Let's put the camera, the face cam back in. There was no screws as far as I can remember that were directly on here, so that's fine. Now for one last repair that needs to be done, we need to replace that center lens, so let's do that next. It's a pretty straightforward repair as far as I can recall. So let's get the lens out first. It's relatively easy to get out. I'm going to heat it up with my heat gun, and then you just start pushing. You can do it with pliers, or you can use a screwdriver. That works too. That came out incredibly easy and incredibly clean. That is a lot of lenses, more than I'll ever use. Okay, so let's peel this up and get one out. And well, you know what? I'm gonna put one of these adhesive strips on first. Let's get that out of the way first. Okay, that went decently well. Sometimes these really mess up when you're putting them in, but this one seems to have gone in pretty nicely. Time to get that lens in. Now, I'm going to try my best to not touch the lens. I'm just going to use my tweezers. If you touch the lens, you've got, no matter how hard you try, you've got oil on your fingers. So you really don't want to touch these lenses if at all possible. Here we go. Why isn't it fitting? It's not fitting. Why are you not fitting? Alright, so I got the lenses in. Don't have a size issue because I literally bought a panel, a new shield, just because they didn't have anything else beyond that. So at least we got that. I'm going to take these off in advance. Very nice. Look how shiny those are. Nice and brand new. Okay, let's get these screws back in to where they belong. There we have it. That's all together. Now, I'm going to put this all back together right now. Oh no. Oh, this is annoying. I got to take it all back out because I forgot about this stupid thing. Ah, there it is right there. Okay. Let's put it in. Super awkward too. What a stupid design. I'm looking at this almost upside down and sideways. There. I got it. I finally got it. Oh, that was annoying. Okay, let's get it in. And put all those stupid screws back in. Putting the stupid cable in, I have torn the fingerprint reader. Oh, I hate you, Motorola. I hate you so much. At least the part probably is relatively cheap, but still, I should not have had to. It took forever to get the stupid thing in there in the first place. I should not have had to have that much troubles just getting it in place. I got almost all the screws in. And then I just noticed while I was working on it, there was this little part that wasn't pushed in properly, and I was starting to look at that, and then it tore. Just that easy. Oh, this is just insulting. Well, it's the next day, and I have the part in. Oh, I am so gutted over that. And I'm not going to put this in right away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it into the motherboard of the phone first, and hopefully that will resolve the issue. Does this have adhesive on it? I don't see any adhesive. I'm going to have to use some glue. There. I'm going to put the glue onto the button itself, and I can easily clean off the excess once it dries on the outside of the case. Here. Okay, I think that's in. Let's get those screws in. Okay, that's done. Final step. We got everything else sorted. I just need to go and stick this into that back cover, and hopefully we'll be okay, and we'll be finally good to go. No more of this foolishness. So a tiny amount of glue got in through the back there, as was more or less expected, but it's not bad. So I'm happy with that. I think I can finally put it all back together. There's no parts that I know of that are missing. This needs to go in once the back cover has gone back in place. Oh, it's been a long journey. Have we missed anything? No? Watch me drop it and just break it at this point. I do need to do some basic tests, like put a SIM card into it, make sure that it reads properly, stuff like that, you know, check to make sure the speakers are working properly. Finally, at last, we have this finished. I'm glad that it's done. I can finally get this put up on the internet and get it listed. Worst repair experience that I've ever had with a phone. I am pleased that I finally can say that this is finally done. So, if you guys like the video, please do leave a like. Please, especially for this one. That was a real pain. And if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another video. Bye.